So there is more room to grow. Of course, at the same time, we need sometimes that from the Indian side a little help, because you have very high import taxes, no? Well, currently, India is Argentina's sixth largest trade partner. The trade relationship between the two countries is $5 billion, which for Argentina is an important figure. Currently, Argentina is #1 provider of soybean oil. We are #3 in terms of sunflower oil. There are also some important mining investments from Indian companies in Argentina, for example in lithium, for example in the province of Catamarca in the northern states of the country, and there are many other possibilities of expansion of this cooperation, for example in energy and in other fields. Argentina is a founding member of Mercosur, among with Brazil, Paraguay and Uruguay. The bloc was founded in 35 years ago in the Asunción Treaty in March 1991. And there is an agreement, as you said, of Preferential Trade Agreement between India and MERCOSUR that was signed, I think, in 2004, and it came into effect, I think, 2009. But it's limited to a number of products. So there is a consensus among the members of the bloc, and I think in the Indian side too, that agreement should be expanded, should be deepened. And I think there is an important consensus in that sense, at least among the members. Now the Brazilian presidency of Mercosur is ending. Paraguay will be the new will have the chair of the bloc for the next 6 months, and I hope that could evolve to a positive evolution, let's say, a development. And I think it is possible. I don't know if it's going to happen immediately, but I think it's possible.
But there is no timeline, sir?
Sorry?
There is no timeline for the...
Well, you know that these negotiations, sometimes they put timelines, but then those timelines, unfortunately, they are not always fulfilled, and that can be explained. But what I've observed, let's say, during talks that I had been having here with people in the Indian government, and also with my colleagues from the other ambassadors from the other countries of the bloc, is that there is a consensus on this. I think there is an agreement on that, basically because of the fact that our economies, Argentina's economy, but not only Argentina, the rest of the countries of the Mercosur, those economies and the Indian economies are they enjoy a high degree of complementarity, high degree. And also we are in different areas and in different time of the year. So when you are producing one thing here, you don't have in the other for the seasonal reasons. So I think it is for the mutual benefit of India and our countries, and Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay and Uruguay. So I don't observe major problems in order to get that, but then bureaucracy has to be sidelined, no? In order to get that. I hope it's possible.
Sir, what all sectors will be benefited if there is, according to you?
I think many of them, most relevant sectors in the economy in India and in our countries, no? I think it will be very possible. Argentina, but the same can be said for other countries. We can produce even more to a country as India, because of this situation of that the domestic consumption there is not so large. So I think that can be achieved, and it can be very positive for us,
so
and for you.
Any numbers for the trade between the two countries evolving in coming future?
Well, currently there is $5 billion trade. It is an important number. If you compare to some years ago, it has evolved a lot. 5 or 6 years ago, the Indian-Argentine relationship was elevated to the rank of strategic partnership. At that time, if I'm not wrong, we are talking about the year 2019. The trade between the two countries was, I think it was around 2.5 billion. So today is the double or even more. So there is more room to grow. Of course, at the same time, we need sometimes that from the Indian side a little help, because you have very high import taxes, no? and not only with us, of course, but and I think that for the good of the Indian people, for the good of the Indian consumers, that will be good if you can access to more products from other markets. So in that sense, the trade could be even better.